Hi traders and welcome back. Lockie here. I hope you are absolutely fantastic. In the previous video, we spoke about how to build and save a workspace, and we ended up morphing into quite a complex workspace, which is the one I've got in front of you here. Now, this is actually a workspace that I use for running the live trading room. Guys, ultimately, if you do want to end up in this world, absolutely fantastic. You've got the top left-hand corner is the NASDAQ. Bottom left-hand corner is the S&P 500, and I've deliberately made a mistake on the S&P 500, guys, so I show you how to fix a problem. As we use the S&P 500 down the bottom left-hand corner as a reference for the NASDAQ. Top right-hand corner is the FDAX. It's not quite open yet. And in the bottom right-hand corner, same, not quite open yet. We've actually got the FESX, which is a really good market, guys, for monitoring what the European markets are doing on a very large scale. Please note, guys, FESX down the bottom right-hand corner is the one you would watch if you're a European-centric trader, as in you ultimately want to know what the big boys and girls, the big hedge funds of the world are ultimately up to. Now, down in the bottom left-hand corner, ladies and gents, there's three little teachings we can take out of the bottom left-hand corner before we talk about, guys, this video is about how to manipulate charts, how to draw on charts, and basically how to make these charts really simple to read. Can everybody see I've actually got an indicator overlap here where I've got some of the words. I've deliberately done this for you because we always talk about how to add an indicator to a chart, but we sometimes quite often don't talk about, guys, how to take that indicator back off. So what I can do is I can right click on this, I can go to my indicators, guys, and you're going to see all of the indicators that I've got loaded on this chart. Now, the one that's actually causing trouble is the market hours. Now, I've done this deliberately, guys, so we spoke about building indicators before, but if you ever want to remove an indicator, all you do is left click on that indicator in your configured list and then literally push remove. As soon as you do that, you push apply, then you push OK, and you can see that parallax error or that crossover between the indicators is gone. That does actually raise a really good point, ladies and gents, because the larger the chart, the less detail that you want on that chart. So note here, for example, on my 5-minute NASDAQ chart, I've got all of these little indicators on here called the delta indicator. If I was to load the delta indicator onto a 60-minute chart, it actually makes the chart quite difficult to read. Now, that suggests not only are certain indicators, in fact, well, speaking of that right now, right now as I speak to you, we've just had an absolutely incredible buy signal roll up on the NASDAQ as I literally record for you live right now, okay? Can everybody see, guys? There's a great teaching that's going to counter this. Can everybody see this 3-rated candle down here? Now, that's one of our little cheats, guys, for trading the market. It's basically saying, please buy the market now at this point in time and let the candle run. That little black V2 delta, guys, is doing basically the same thing, saying, hey, there's some institutional orders in the market here, please start buying. Suffice to say, guys and girls, back to our little lesson if I can. If I was to load a 5-minute chart indicator onto a larger chart, for example, like a 60-minute chart or even a 4-hour chart, what you actually might find is you end up with so many lines on your charts. You end up with so many lines, so much confusion, you can't actually read the market correctly. So to give you an idea, ladies and gents, of what that looks like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to the bottom left-hand corner. I'm going to duplicate my 60-minute S&P 500 chart into a new tab as opposed to a new window. And what's going to occur is I'm going to end up with two 60-minute S&P 500 charts. What I'm then going to do, ladies and gents, is I'm going to click on my new tab and I'm going to change this chart, I should say, to a 240-minute chart. Now, as per the previous videos, the best way to do that is simply just left click on the chart and write 240M. Now, the moment I do that, I'm actually going to end up with a 4-hour chart for the S&P 500. Can everybody see, guys, as I break this chart up for you, I've got a lot of detail. In fact, this brings up a great lesson. As whenever I'm running the LTR, I quite often actually put comments on the screen as to, Lockie, how do we do this? How do we do that? You know, Lockie, there's a 4-hour short here, or please do this, please do that. Interesting point, ladies and gents. If you ever end up with a whole lot of information on your charts here and you don't want them on your charts, what you can do is literally right click, okay? Go to your drawing tools, which is the subject of what we're doing in this video, and you can go to drawing tools and come all the way down to the bottom and say remove all of your drawing objects. Now, please be aware, guys, if you've been marking up screenshots, i.e. I took this trade, I did this, I did that, you know, for example, that NASDAQ trade that's literally occurring live in front of us right now. If you were to mark up those screenshots but not save them correctly, when you do remove all of your drawing objects, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to do that? You say, yep, I want to do that. It will basically remove everything that you've put on your chart, guys. So all of those comments, any associated Fibonacci, anything along those lines. What I've ended up with, ladies and gents, is a 4-hour chart. Can everybody see that not only I've got no candles over here on the left-hand side, you're thinking, Lockie, wow, where have all your candles gone? But can everybody see I'm also starting to get crossovers with the indicators like I was on the previous? So how do we fix these two problems as we get larger with our workspaces and similar? Very, very easy. How do we fix the fact that I've got no candles? All right, so we right-click on the screen and we go to Data Series. Now, when we click on Data Series, what we then do is we load more days of data. Now, on a 4-hour chart, guys should be able to load, let's say, look, 10 days worth of data. We had 3 days, 10 days would be stunning, 30 days would be even more fun. So I'm going to change that to 30 days worth of data. I'm going to push apply, I'm going to push OK, and I end up with a whole lot more candles, which makes it a lot easier to read. But I've also got all these lines everywhere, ladies and gents. So I'd suggest for these pivot files, you'd probably have them on your 5-minute chart and maybe a 15-minute chart only. You don't actually need them on larger charts. So we're going to right click. I'm going to come into my indicators. And what I want to do is I want to get rid of a couple of indicators here because this is actually my 5-minute chart template that we've duplicated. So I don't need pivots and levels. So we're going to remove that one. Signal Hunter at this page, we don't need that one on this particular chart. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. No, we don't need that one. We'll move that one. We need that. All of that is fine. So basically, I'm stripping the indicators down. Now, you can use whatever indicators you want, ladies and gents. I'm stripping indicators down ultimately so I end up with a chart that's really, really clean and very, very easy to read. And as we've done previously, if you like that as a 4-hour chart template, what you can actually do is right-click, go to Templates, and you can save that as a 4-hour chart template. So let's do that for you now. That's an S&P 500. Okay, 4-hour chart. Perfect. We're going to save that. So if we want to replicate that, guys, on any of the other markets, we can. Now, what I want to do, ladies and gents, is draw your attention to the NASDAQ. Now, first and foremost, what I wanted to do in this video, look at this buy signal absolutely fly. Like I could not have asked the market to move more beautifully. Now, mind you, what have they done? What have they done? They've cruised down here. Fancy that. They've failed at a pivot. So the market has failed at a pivot. It's produced what we refer to, guys, as a static bar reversal long. That's actually a 4-point turning bar long. It's got an incredible strength indicator underneath it. That's basically, guys, every one of these horizontals. In fact, great question. How do you check the horizontals? Guys, how do you know how wide these markets are? So you can right click over here and you can go to properties. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you your horizontal grid line Lockie is fixed at an interval of 10 ticks. Now, what does that mean on the NASDAQ? It means each of these horizontal lines is worth $50 US. So literally $50, $50, $50, $50, just keeps rocking along. Now, what does it ultimately mean, ladies and gents, is over here on the right-hand side, I've got my price scale. Down on the bottom-hand side, I've got my time scale. Now, if I click on the time scale, so left click and then hold down, it does this. So I'm basically expanding my candles out and making them fatter. If I left click and then take my finger off, it does absolutely nothing. Same over here, guys, with the price scale on the right-hand side. If I click on this and hold my left mouse button down, it squashes the candles. If I push them back up, it actually makes the candles taller. So you can actually manipulate the chart to have nice fat candles. As the reason you're looking for nice fat candles is ultimately you want to be able to read the market really clearly. As we have just done coincidentally, an incredible buy signal goes off the 50 fib of the day has already gone. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's already gone 9 times 50 or $450 US into profit if you literally bought over the top of that candle, guys, using that little green delta there. Now, as you see, I've got this arrow on the chart, which is kind of good fun, but where did the arrow come from? It actually comes from the drawing tools in the top left-hand corner. So if you go to the menu icon here, as you've got literally drawing tools, you can click on that and you've got a myriad of different things you can do. Now, my favorite, guys, you can also, mind you, as I talk about favorite, Because if you've got the right keyboard set up, you can actually use the F2, F3, F4, F6, F7 buttons. So you can actually get very, very good at drawing these different things, guys, if you choose to. I find it simpler, ladies and gents, when you first start. I find it simpler to come up here, click on that and say, Lockie, I want a Fibonacci retracement. So we're going to click on the Fibonacci retracement. I'm going to draw the Fibonacci down, guys, in order to catch them on the way up. And hey presto, we're catching the NASDAQ at what we refer to as the 76 Fibonacci's, guys, which is right there. That is where the NASDAQ would normally fail at this time of the day. So guess what? It's failing at exactly where we would suggest it's going to fail. More on Fibonacci, ladies and gents, more on Fibonacci in a later chapter. Now, if I do want to draw on the chart, guys and girls, very, very simple stuff. I just come up here and I push, for example, this one here, and I get a line. It does bring up a really good point. Whereas when you first start, you're not going to get a black dashed line. Same here, you're not going to get a black arrow like that. How do you save these drawing ideas as templates, if you will? What we can do is we can double click on the actual line, and what it's going to do is it's going to bring up the properties for the item that you've just drawn. Now, if you want to come and modify like lines, say, Lockie, you know what? I don't like black lines. I would like my line to be crimson, please. That's what I want. If you come down here and push apply, ladies and gents, it's not going to save it as a template. Okay, what you can do is you can template and then you can save. So all I've done is push the template button, then push save, and I've basically got an opportunity to save the line. I can save the line as I choose, or I can save it as my default. Now, in that case, ladies and gents, you can just push the save as default button. What it ultimately means, guys, let me show you what this means. So I push all the buttons, push OK. Every time I now push F2 and draw a line, it's going to be red. Right, so literally, is that how many times I do it? I've saved the default line. If eventually you get to the point where you say, look, I don't like red lines anymore, I like the black lines because they contrast against the colors of the chart a lot more accurately. Absolutely brilliant. What we do is we come back in here, ladies and gents, we come into the color of the line, we go back to black, and we basically go template and we go save. I'd like to save that as my default, please. Default already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes, I would like to replace it. Press apply, press OK, and we're black to, or black to, we should be back to black lines, which we are. Absolutely brilliant. Now, further to that, ladies and gents, we've got other things on the chart that we can manipulate. You can change the color of your Fibonacci, you can change the color of the arrows, you can change the color of any of these drawing tools. Guys, all you would ultimately need to do is start using them, for example, like an eclipse. Guys, my favorite is yellow over blue. Why is it that, guys and girls? It reads very, very easily. Yellow over blue reads very, very easily on green and red candlesticks. Okay, so it's also very easy on your eye, guys and girls. If you're going to be looking at charts for a long time, guys, you've got to make sure that we don't spend too much time staring at very, very strange colors. Now, that said, guys, that's how you modify your drawing tools. That's how you manipulate the chart. The last thing I want to suggest down the bottom is this little arrow line that you can draw up and down the chart, ladies and gents. All I'm doing is making my volume indicator larger or making the volume indicator smaller. Now, sometimes, though, when you log in, you can't see any volume spikes at all. You can down the bottom saying, Lockie, I doubt I have an indicator there, but it's disappeared. But don't forget you've got, as we did earlier in the course, you did this F button here, which is basically find my volume spikes. Okay, now I found them. If you want to move the volume spikes up or down, is what you can do is left click once again on the price scale or the volume scale over here on the right hand side. You can actually move them up or down. You see the problem with doing that? The volume spike has ultimately disappeared. So if you want to make them taller, guys, make them a little bit taller, and then what you can do is press the control button and the left mouse button and move all of your volume spikes up. So I can move them up, I can move them down, or I can grab the entire market and move it up or down by pushing the control button. Guys, same as up here on the price scale. If I just left click and hold, I make them smaller. If I left click and push up, I make them larger. But if I control and left click, I can move the entire market up or down without actually changing the size of my candlesticks. So guys and girls, what we wanted to do in this video is learn how to manipulate the market, and ultimately we want to be able to read these markets well. So we're manipulating the drawing tools, the indicators, we're manipulating everything on the screen to make sure it's not only comfortable for your eyes, but it's very, very easy for you to read. is once you've actually played with the chart, if you want to get back to the original workspace that we had, all you do, top right-hand corner, is push this little button here with the two little charts. That's going to put you back to exactly where you were before. As we've actually changed our workspace down the bottom here. Remember how we took all the indicators off this slightly more complex chart? What I would strongly suggest you do is, if I was to now close NinjaTrader down and not save my work, I'm going to come back and I'm going to have all of the same charts with all of the same confusion. So make sure as when you do finish doing this kind of stuff, like I'm modifying my workspace, modifying my charts, saving my templates, doing all this kind of stuff, just make sure you come back into workspace. Just here, this is my active workspace, European Open. I'm going to save all the work that I've done. All right, so when I shut down NinjaTrader, I'm not going to lose all of my work. With all that said, ladies and gents, what we're going to do is move on to the next video. We're going to be talking about how to start to execute trades, and to execute trades, just like that buy signal we saw live in front of us on the NASDAQ. If we were to buy the market, how would we buy the market? And we're actually going to default back to our very, very simple 15, 30, 60, and 5-minute workspace in order to do that. So let's move on to the next video.